Welcome SUSD teachers. We are about to inform you of new CDE attendance requirements impacting us September 1st. With all things COVID, we are appreciative of your ability to be flexible and adjust. And we recognize that in your work world and your home world, things are constantly changing. So please bear with us as we make additional changes as a result of CDE mandates. Ed Code 43504, I won't go into that into detail, but if you're interested in reading it, it's available just for your knowledge. Now, there are three main areas we're going to learn about today: the instructional minutes, the attendance codes related to synchronous and asynchronous work, and then certifying accuracy of instructional minutes and your attendance. The instructional minutes. AB 77 establishes minimum school days, which appear the same as current law. So on the screen, you see the various instructional minutes. Kindergarten, 180, first through third, 230, fourth through 12, 240. And then you have the dual enrolled students. So these are the instructional minutes that you're aware of and that your sites all created schedules for. Now, attendance codes. As of September 1st, these are the new attendance codes that you'll see when you log into Synergy. They're accessible to the teachers, the unverified, which you've always had access to, which means no participation or absent, the SYN, synchronized, in-person live instruction. This one is a new one. CON, which means contact, student or family, also a new one. And then ASY, asynchronized, assigned work submitted or the assessment completed. So the three new ones that you have are the SYN, synchronized, CON for family or student contact, and then ASY, asynchronized. We recognize there are a lot of changes happening and we appreciate that you're bearing with us. So there's two forms that you're going to be signing off on in the near future. The first one is the combined daily participation form. Now this one is required, it's here as a requirement of the CDE. So you must have your assignments listed under the summary of assignments or assessments. Now we also recognize that you have been putting all of this information in other formats, and whatever that format may be, you can copy and paste it into this document. This form needs to be signed and returned to site clerical or attendance person. So what's it look like on a bigger screen? You see the summary of assignments, assessments on your upper left-hand side. That's like it says, any assignments, any assessments. And then where it says teachers can mark several areas and points to the right, you'll see in-person instruction, video or online synchronous instruction or assignment, and then asynchronous instruction. On those, you'll be entering partial day and partial day for both the synchronous and asynchronous, because for the most part, that's what you're doing all of the time. Then note the instructional minutes. I hereby certify that the information contained on this record is accurate and correct, that the assignments listed represent, and then the number of minutes worth of instructional minutes on each day listed. So all of you are at least marking what your minimum is according to the grade level that you're teaching. Then you'll need to make sure that you print your name and sign. The combined daily participation form, and this is clarifications. Forms should be used for each section taught. So if you're elementary and you're teaching your regular class and an ELD class, so you're going to take attendance for two groups of students, two sections. You're also going to do two forms of the combined daily participation form. When completing the summary of assignments, assessments, like I said earlier, you can copy and paste from the platform you're currently using to share that information with the students. The instructional assessment delivery method is a total of the instructional minutes each day. So it's most likely that you're going to be marking partial day on synchronous and partial day on asynchronous instruction, as it makes up the total number of minutes that you need to instruct each day. The instructional minutes must be recorded in section D, certification, and I pointed that out where it says sign, signature, and the instructional minutes. And then, like I said, the signature is required and then returned to your site clerical attendance clerk. Synergy. When it comes to Synergy, you're going to go ahead and do your attendance like you would normally do. The difference is when you go into Synergy now, you're going to see those different attendance codes, which we talked about, but you also need to make sure that for every student, you're actually selecting a code. In the past, what you did is if a child or student was present, you just left it empty. So it was just present meant that you didn't see anything in the attendance box. Now what's required is you have to have something in every single spot for every day for every student. So the site clerical or attendance clerk will print or email and distribute the STU 409 to teachers. The teachers will then sign and return the STU 409 form for each section they teach to the site clerical or attendance clerk, along with the combined daily participation form. So in addition to that CDE form that we just saw, that combined daily participation form, and the Synergy STU 409 form, which will be provided by your attendance clerk or site clerical, those two forms will both need to be signed and returned. Teachers still have up to 10 days to update attendance. Teacher signatures. CDE requires the teacher of record to sign the combined daily participation form and Synergy's STU 409. Both forms must be signed and returned to the site attendance clerk. The sites will also provide the timelines. The timelines will be given by Ed Services so that everyone is on the same schedule. Now, here's some examples of different scenarios that you probably experience pretty often. So the first one, Jasenia did not participate in synchronized instruction and the family had contacted the teacher saying they were having technology issues or whatever types of issues they may be having. Initially, the teacher would mark CON, C-O-N, for contact in Synergy, but once the work was turned in, then the teacher could change it to ASY, which is asynchronous instruction. The next example demonstrates to educators how COVID-19 has impacted attendance taking. Antonio has a doctor's appointment and cannot attend synchronized instruction. The parent has informed the teacher, and in the past, this absence would be counted as excused. However, in our new COVID-19 world, the teacher can mark CON for contact in Synergy. Then once the work is completed, the code can be changed to ASY, asynchronous. Now, in the past, Antonio's example would have been an excused absence. But in this case, we can actually count him as present through asynchronous learning or instruction. So here's a recap. New attendance codes must be used, and those should be the only ones that you're seeing in Synergy. A code must be posted for each student. So if you're interacting with a student online through Zoom, then that student is present, and therefore the SYN code should be used. Site clerical or attendance clerk will print or email and distribute the STU 409 to teachers. And then both the combined daily participation and Synergy's STU 409 forms must be signed and returned to the site attendance clerk. Some of the most common questions we've had up to this point is the combined daily participation form required to be completed by the CDE? Yes. Can a teacher send a picture of the STU 409 and combined daily participation form signed? Yes, so basically, if you sign the document and you don't have a scanner, but you have your phone, you can take a picture of those documents and then forward them to your site clerical or attendance clerk. Is the combined daily participation form capturing the instruction for both synchronous and asynchronous instruction? Yes, it is. How many combined daily participation forms do I use? Now, ultimately, this depends on how many sections you take attendance for. Teachers will use one form per attendance section. For instance, at the K-6 level, you may take attendance for your regular class and ELD. Therefore, you would have a combined daily participation form for ELD and for the regular class. You would also receive a STU 409 report for each of those sections. If you're at the high school level and you have 5 sections that you teach, or 4 sections, what you're doing is you're going to take attendance for those classes, those sections, and then you will have the combined daily participation form for each of those sections that you took attendance. What needs to be documented on the combined daily participation form? So if you look at the form itself, there's arrows going exactly where you need to pay attention to and what you need to fill in, along with the entire area at the top of the document. But in general, the assignments that you give, the type of instruction, the number of instructional minutes, and the signature needs to be included when you submit this form. Now, if you have additional questions, please document via the QR code or the bit.ly ink, and then frequently asked questions will be created using the questions posted. Thank you so much. Please reach out to your administrator if you're having any questions or need any guidance. Thank you.